Howdy, folks. We got a minute or two before we will get started in earnest to let folks get the link and find the stream. But welcome to the final hour of the Hell on the High Plains Kickstarter. This is how big the puppy has gotten over the last 2 weeks. Oh my God, he's growing leaps and bounds. So thank you for responding as well as you guys have, because we have to keep him in the manner in which he's accustomed to. When the biscuits, apparently the biscuits we throw on the ground. But the Hannibal says hi. I figured, want to say how about we got about a minute more before we'll get started in earnest. And then we've got plenty of good things in store for you guys. We've got a bunch of sneak peeks on what's next, both on Kickstarter and on our our Game Changer platform on our own website. And even further out, like later in the year, we've got some hints and some early art previews. But give us a minute and we'll get started in earnest. So time to go away, puppy. Gotta let you down, bud. He's hilarious. He's at the age where he's just figured out he's a boy. So he'll launch himself across the room and try to take you out at the ankle. And he's very hilarious. And he's not food aggressive, but he's aggressive about food. So like if I'm eating anything or my dad's eating anything, like he will make sure he gets his fair share. Well, if you put the dog bowl down, he's totally fine sharing it with our other elderly dog. And so he's cool that way. But if you're eating something, he's like, where's my cut? So it's super cute.
I do the same thing to Clint. I'm like, where's mine?
Right? So I make food for maybe my old man. When my old man makes food and he doesn't make some for me, I'm like very offended. I'm like, where's my breakfast? You just
That's right.
Yeah, so Max McCullough said the Kickstarter is down. So we've seen a couple folks have issues right now with Kickstarter itself being down. So keep on the refresh. There is an hour left, hopefully. And if heaven forbid you don't get your pledge in, because we will be order managing this on our own Game Changer, we will allow you to get in at a pledge level, same price, all the goodies after the campaign. Just can't tell you when, because it'll be a couple weeks just when we make sure we got all the ducks in a row. But we've got some of the kinks worked out on that, and it's looking good. So if you can't get in the last minute of the Kickstarter, you will be able to do it on our site. But we do appreciate you joining the Kickstarter. That's the easiest. There we go, and now it's back up. So yes, if you're having a little trouble, I'm going to throw the link into the chat early, so you guys, if you haven't gone to the Kickstarter, you can get on that now. And then after I get that link in, we will get started, because there's already scores and scores of you. So so link is in the chat. Let me put it up on the as a comment. That's the link to follow to the Hell on the High Plains Kickstarter. There's already over 1,800 of you, and you've pledged more than 170,000. So thanks much, guys. And we'll do a little intro video, because that's on brand. And we'll be back after that. So let's see.
Welcome to the Weird West. Will you survive the frightening frontier, or fill a grave on Boot Hill? Grab your 6 guns and enter the Deadlands.
We play Savage Worlds, whether we're at the table or over the internet. In our role-playing game, fantasy is just the beginning. From the Wild West to the depths of outer space and beyond. Anytime, any place. They're all Savage Worlds.
Boom! Well, welcome aboard. We are going to get started in earnest now. So thank you to all of the Kickstarter backers. You guys came out in force for this Kickstarter. We were blown away by that first day, and you never stopped. So I think right now we are over 1,800 backers, over 173,000. And the goal, and that tickles us pink, because especially that backer number, we'd love to see so many of you guys returning from the Weird West Kickstarter we did a little over a year ago. Was it 2 now? God, time does fly. But so we love it. So Hell on the High Plains, last minute, we're less than an hour to get backing if you haven't backed yet. And just in case you haven't seen the Kickstarter, Brian, I think we'll toss it to you, sir. What can people find in Hell on the High Plains? Oh, good.
Yeah. I have to unmute. Hell on the High Plains. It's It's a nice thick book with lots of information on 6 different states out west: Montana, Wyoming, Colorado, Nevada. I'm sorry, not Nevada, Nebraska, Oklahoma, and the Dakotas. And it contains Savage Tales. It contains lots of information, NPCs that you can meet and interact with. Just a lot of really great stuff.
Nice. And Donald, since you were playing partial manager on this, what are all the other goodies that we can find besides the 192-page book in the pledge levels?
Well, so I'm hesitant to try and describe the scope of the High Plains Drifter. We'll be here for a while if I try and hit everything, but that's a top pledge tier. If you're a fan of Savage Worlds, but you haven't really jumped into any of the Deadlands stuff yet, that's you want to catch up on everything tier. So it's got the Weird West box set. It basically every Deadlands box set that we've done since the Weird West Kickstarter, plus basically everything you'd need. So you're going to have the full archetype sets, the full map packs. You're going to have all the adventures. You're going to have basically all the books, Blood Drive, all the pawns, and that's all in the High Plains Drifter. So if you're catching up, then that's what you want to get. Otherwise, if we're talking about the other pledge tiers, your digital pledge tier, you're going to get your archetypes and your poster map, and then the print pledge tier is the same thing, just in print instead of PDF. And then the jackpot tiers, both print and digital, those are adding on the DIY VTT assets, the new map packs, the quick chase deck, and then if you're doing the print version, you get the new card box that we're doing, which is perfect for all of our oversized cards like the action deck, archetype cards, so on and so forth. The Devil's Tower die, and the Pawns box set. If you're doing the digital one, you get the figure flats instead. I know some folks have been like, what's a figure flat? So those are our tri-folded print it yourself PDF version. That's basically the digital version of the Pawns. So I can show you folks, because I got it right. One moment. If I don't knock everything down. So these are our
cats who might knock it down for us, even if he doesn't.
Yeah. These are our ETU pawns that we did for Study Abroad. And so they're the nice, thick, die-cut punch board. And you're getting that in pawn set too. It's got everything you need for Hell in the High Plains, plus some extras. And the figure flats are the digital version of that. So it's a PDF, you print it at home, you cut it out, and they're tri-folded. So they stand like little columns, and that way you can make exactly what you need when you need it. Personally, really like the pawns, especially I had a lot of fun with them and our maps at Deadwood. Because I mostly do, I'm a DIY VTT gamer because most of what I run is online. But it's really fun having those pawns and the maps when you're in person, which was quite a trip at Deadwood.
They looked great
at
if Deadwood. They looked great. It was pretty impressive.
And if you haven't seen, this is what we're talking about when we're talking about our oversized cards. Again, this is ETU, but the action deck, or not the action deck, the archetype cards are like this. You've got the stats and the art and the text on the front, and then you've got the breakdown of their hindrances, edges, gears, and if you've got powers in Deadlands, and your powers as well. And this is the same size and form factor that our oversized action deck comes in if you grab that top tier, or you just wait until the order manager on our site and you can add literally anything that's in stock to your Kickstarter order.
Yeah, and it's exactly twice as large as like the Infernal Device cards and the other smaller cards we do. So if you want to put those in the new box as well, you can put two different, you can mix and match. You can put archetypes and those cards in the box because Simon is smart that way. It all fits together like this amazing little Jenga. So, right? He's a clever dude. We just can't get him online because he's too busy slaving away working on the next project. So so now we got chat here. Any last minute questions from chat? Be sure to type it in any of the platforms you're watching. We are on YouTube, we are on Twitch, and we're on Facebook. So put those comments and we will throw those up to get those questions answered. But let's see what goodness we can get. Let's start with our first spoiler of the night. So I think Mr. Barbeau, we're going to have you talk about what's coming up next in your world. And of course, look at this. Yeah. Thanks, Mike.
Yeah. So I have been working on a few different things. As a lot of people have probably guessed, the next adventure path is probably one of my top 3 favorites. It is Curse of the Crimson Throne. For anybody who doesn't know about it, it's one of, I think, the best city adventures. It's very rare, in a lot of the games I've played, where a lot of it just takes place inside a massive city and you have to deal with the law as well as the, seedy underbelly, maybe riots, things like that. And so, yeah, this is pretty far along already. I'm really excited for it to get done. I've got a lot of people play testing it right now, some surviving more than others in a very good way. And then also, I've teased this a little bit on Facebook, I think, but I've also been working on the Advanced Player's Guide. And it's exactly what you might think. It touches on a lot of the stuff from the original Pathfinder 1 book. We're talking a new arcane background for the Oracle with new mechanics for that. We've got the Cavalier. We've got legendary edges. There's new ones there that have gone really well and people are having a blast with. Basically everything you saw from the core Savage Pathfinder book gets something cool and new to add to it. I've seen a lot of people on Facebook talk about how they use Savage Pathfinder for their own home settings. While there is additional lore, like there's extra lore for all the ancestry, so you can find out a bit more about how they're represented in Galarian. There's also new ancestries that you can, try out, or variants. Like if you want to play a deep dwarf, there's rules for how to do that. So it's very exciting. There's a lot of cool stuff coming out for it. And I'm really excited for everybody to see it.
That's pretty amazing. So someone commented that they missed the thunk from Simon's videos, but you have some production samples in your possession too. You mind grabbing those and giving us a little desk drop and showing us what we can expect from the first Pathfinder Kickstarter, which hopefully very soon will be on the shipping channel. So
there's a stream template.
Wow, I'm blown away, sir. I am so blown away. The art on that was much like Don showed, right? We have the archetype cards. Both for anybody who didn't follow it, we've got allies and we've got enemies. So if a GM wants to use somebody, if you need a bad guy, believe it or not, I'm actually using these for my home run campaign. I needed to pull out a baddie, grab this guy. He works fantastic. They're great quality, fantastic. We've got the bestiary, right? All shiny, beautiful art layout. It's exactly what you expect. And then, of course, this chunky bad boy.
Jeez, it's so thick. I didn't realize how thick the book was.
Yeah, and I am just such a huge fan of this book. Obviously, right?
Drop it on your desk so we get a little sound effect for the size of that thick book. Oh,
jeez.
Yes.
It's not a light improvised weapon; it's a medium improvised weapon.
Well, what had me worried for a second is I actually have a glass tabletop desk, so no cracks per se. We've got, this is one of the books for the Rise of the Rune Lords Adventure Path. Again, a fantastic one. Everything's easy to read, easy to run. And then, of course, we have, I don't know if I'm the only one. I am addicted to GM screens. Like if I can have a GM screen per setting, I will do it.
You're not the only one. You're not the only one.
Good. So I'm a really big fan of this. I love all the information. It's easy to access. We've got all of the new power cards. If you guys have ever seen power cards, you know what they look like. They're actually sorted for my playtest group right now. And then anybody who hasn't seen the chase deck, which I find highly unlikely, we have the chase deck with just the beautiful art on it. There's even more instances to use it in Curse of the Crimson Throne. I use it all the time. I actually used a modified version of this because we didn't have anything for it at the time for my Deadlands game when the group got chased by like a literal horde of zombies. And so we did a reverse chase as they were being followed and trying to escape into the mines. I think that's most everything. The next book, for anybody who hasn't seen the cover before, this is Curse. It has been used.
Yeah, show us the back art. So I spoiled that for a couple of people. There's a little hint on my little magic screen. We had the picture of that dragon. So a few of you sharp-eyed folks figured out what we were doing next by knowing where that came from. So this one's not a spoiler yet. It's still the Hell and High Plains. But
and it's one thing I love about the Pathfinder Adventure Path is they pretty much all of my favorite ones. They introduce a new type of mechanic. For anybody who has played Rise, I won't spoil too much, but there's something to do with sin. This one has something to do with tarot cards, which is a complete blast. I know there's some people who have talked about it on Facebook. I know we have a fan who's running his own conversion ahead of time. I may or may not have chatted with him on the side a couple times. But yeah, so I'm very excited for everything.
And so again, sharp-eyed folks in the back, you can see those are the actual sizes of the boxes you will be getting when your Savage Pathfinder comes in, and the world map, the Galarian map. So they are not small. They are instant shelfie cred for anybody who's looking to up their game. And that's our theme for next Monday.
That will break your table.
Yeah. No,
not if it's a Carolina game table.
Simon was really nice, and when I say really nice, I harassed him for like 3 days straight when he got the samples in. But as soon as Monday came around, because it came in I think on a Thursday, and I was like, "How much is it to overnight it?" Because I had a Saturday game to run. But he sent me the second set. He was nice enough to do that, and so my playtest group gets to use all the actual physical stuff that comes with it. And yeah, I'm so excited for this next one to come up too. As excited as I have been for this Kickstarter.
Yeah.
And speaking of that, I do want to jump in real quick and say that chase deck, that is the first of the ones that we've done, and we're also doing it for Hell on the High Plains. It's the Deadlands one. It's not just Hell on the High Plains. And I know we had some questions about that. So you're going to see similar mechanics because we don't want you to have to learn 2 different rules for chase decks. And then it's got new cards for the Weird West, as well as cards specific for things like horse chases, train chases, and exotic was the way we described it. Of those are your steam-powered stagecoaches and your my mind blanks. What's the start of the pede one? Velocipede.
Velocipede.
Yes. Okay, I did get it right.
Centipede. Yes, go ride a centipede.
Worm sign.
Yeah, seriously, my group is very much addicted to the quick chase deck. We've used it in our Savage Solomon Kane because we play some old school Savage World stuff. It's a blast. I love it. I'm really excited for this next one to come out.
So just for everybody at home, the next Kickstarter we have, we lost on. The next Kickstarter we have will be the Pathfinder Curse of the Crimson Throne, but it is not the next crowdfunder we're going to do. So I'm going to pull in Brian to give us a little hint. What is, sir, the next crowdfunder we're going to do on our own peginks.com site? Tell us. Give us the deets.
The next one is going to be the Fantasy Companion.
Nice. So keeping with the fantasy theme, biggest question we've seen on the Fantasy Companion is how is it different than what is being offered with Savage Pathfinder? And now that we know that the Advanced Player's Guide is coming up with that too, give us the spiel on what people can find with the Savage Worlds Fantasy Companion.
They're very different. The Savage Pathfinder is a specific setting. And so it's gonna have its own lore. It's got its own sort of vibe going on. And but the Fantasy Companion, the goal of it is for you to be able to run different kinds of fantasy, and there's a pretty broad spread within that particular genre. Everything ranging from just sword and sorcery, where there might not be any magic at all, or it's perhaps a little bit corrupt, all the way up to just high-powered fantasy. If you wanted to run some kind of a wizarding school thing or something, those are things you wouldn't necessarily use. You could maybe, but use Savage Pathfinder for. But this is going to have tools for a wide variety of different types of fantasy, and it does not come with any specific setting packaged in it, right? So that's makes it a toolkit essentially.
It'll be a super utility.
Yeah, what we used to call them. Yeah.
I may or may not have spent some of the weekend looking over the monsters for it in great excitement. The Fantasy Companion is going to be so awesome.
Yeah, it has an absolutely huge bestiary, depending on how you want to pronounce it. It has a huge amount of monsters in it.
And that's what people want.
I think.
Right? If we're putting a huge number of monsters in the bestiary from bestiarius, the Latin, we're also going to have a huge number of pawns. So for folks at home, if you did the last update we did on the Hell on the High Plains Kickstarter, I think I can go throw a link on it, is actually a preview of the pawns that we're giving with this set. So just in case you haven't gotten them yet, or you're wavering on whether you should do it as an add-on, the pawns for Hell on the High Plains are not only the archetypes that we've done, the 12 archetypes for Hell on the High Plains. It is also, and a bunch of the monsters. There's some monsters we can't fit because they're like bigger than a building, so they really don't work as a pawn. But otherwise, a bunch of the monsters, and then it is also some backfill from the rest of the Deadlands Weird West that we're chunking along, and then some really cool like little utilitarian utility pawns. So like in the last Blood Drive set, I think we gave you like a campfire and a wagon. And then in this set, there will be more vehicles. And I think the theme for the utility ones are going to be like stuff you'd find around a camp and then in a mining camp, because that's some of the themes in some of the adventures. So you combine those with the map set 3 and map set 4, which are also just not super specific to Hell on the High Plains. They're usable all over your Deadlands games. We're giving you a lot of ways to bring this physically to your table. So let's see, Jody, I'm going to pull you in real quick to talk about the virtual stuff that's available for this. We do have a question about like the VTT. So let's throw that up there. I think someone wants, I think Max is asking, he thinks that about talking about the value of the VTT. So let's give the sales pitch on how much value folks are getting with the VTT stuff that they're getting.
What is SOA?
Sorry, Sons of Anarchy.
I know that's the first thing in my mind too, and I'm like, I don't know what that is.
I may or may not have Googled SOA acronym and have been blown away by the about 1,000 different acronyms there are.
Yeah, so Max to clarify, and I guess maybe what I will talk about is the VTT team is constantly working to improve their products. So, for example, the premium products that are already out there and have been released for a while, those have had to kind of sit for a little bit while they were putting out the new things. Like for Savage Rifts, I can't wait. I know that you saw that. Yeah, we've got Sean on deck to come up and talk some more about that. But we've had a big release recently for Savage Rifts, so they were focused on that for Foundry especially. So they've had to kind of push those other premier things to the side. Now those are on deck. They're going to get the sword art. No, sorry. So yeah, or state of the art. There you go. Whatever.
Sean was trying to misguide us. No, Sean.
You'll be seeing some updates really soon. That's what they're working on right now, because they are just a ton of little teeny tiny fixes. And I know that the community is looking for those. So that is number one on their agenda right now before they tackle any other huge projects. And of course, those things are always going in the background. Like they're working on Rise of the Rune Lords, and they're working on other projects that we've had, other, crowdfunding things that have come out. So as far as state of the art type things, there's been a new development with Roll20, which I cannot talk about. Sorry, but I will say there's been a new development, and it's pretty exciting, and hopefully we'll be able to talk about it more in a couple of months. So it's soon, very soon, but it'll be cool. So that's going to change things a little bit for us, and in a good way, especially for you VTT people. So expect more things for the future that you're going to love. That's all I can say there.
Yeah, and the offerings for this campaign, so as add-ons, so people ask us why we didn't do it within a tier, and it's just so we don't have to repeat tiers that are only different by one item. But as an add-on, you get a pretty beefy discount. I think it's 25% off of the modules for Foundry and Roll20 and Fantasy Grounds. So if you are a user of one of those three, so not only is this the art assets, it also incorporates the custom coding needed to do things like our new chase deck. And so I think that is pretty state of the art, Max. No one else really does that kind of level of new crunch that we put in. And you got to forgive us a little bit because it's a lot of custom coding that's industry standard, a lot higher pay than a lot of our guys. I mean, our guys, they love our system so much, they're willing to do it for us at more reasonable rates so we can give you guys those assets. But if we had to pay them what you really had to pay custom coding, I think it'd be out of our budget.
Anybody out there thinks that we have full-time coders on our staff? No, we can't afford that. But we do have some very dedicated people who are doing this kind of as side gigs because they love the game just like you do, and they are getting paid at a reasonable rate. We're doing our best to do that. So don't worry about that. And they are working on things. The VTT team is large and growing. They've got lots of people who are working practically around the world and around the clock. So, so don't worry about that. What I wanted to say though, is for example, when you are buying the VTT module for Fantasy Grounds, you're getting the Fantasy Grounds coded platform specific module for everything that's in this. And the same thing goes for Roll20, and the same thing goes for Foundry. And then if you are buying our DIY VTT package, it might sound like that's not hard for us to do. It is. That is still something that we have to take all of these graphics and package them in a way that you can export them, that's easier for you to import them later. It means lots more graphic stuff than Jody knows how to do. I'll say that. Jody can't do this. So...
And our team is really great. We do think that we're punching above our weight class on VTT. It is harder when we're selling thousands of units versus hundreds of thousands of units, or hundreds of units versus thousands of units. So, I think some other big companies have gone a really weird direction with digital. So we're really proud that we're able to give you guys these as fast as they are. I mean, they're amazing. Amy, bless you. She is one of the best managers.
I'm not worthy.
Right? She is fantastic. So so that's kind of where we are now. We want to keep every VTT coming with every one of our releases, and if you do get on the Kickstarter, it's $30 versus eventually I think the MSRP is going to be $40, and that's about as cheap as we can offer it, folks, because it's all custom coded, and and we're even we're looking to help out some of our aces who are trying to broach into this world, and it's tough out there. It's tough out there if you want custom coding, because it also means you got to keep it updated. So every time there's an update for the platform, we want to keep the things working. And so there's a long tail on the payments you're kind of making for this. So we're excited with what we're able to give you guys, and we think it's pretty cool. So
yeah.
I got
those of you who don't do digital platforms, we have so much cool stuff to put on your game tables, so that you're going to be able to set up a great table like Mike was talking about with the GM screens. I mean, that's the calling card, right? If you're walking around a game convention and you're trying to figure out what game you want to jump into, you're looking to see who's got the cool setup. And that GM screen with the art facing, that tells you instantly, this is a cool game. And you're going to be like, okay, now I know what they're playing. I want to go do that. So I know a lot of GMs who love the GM screen for that. Somebody also mentioned having the customizable GM screen. That's available for sale on our website. And if you're a digital person who also kind of wants to do things in person, you can get that customizable GM screen, and with the GM screen inserts that are part of your part of your digital rewards. That's basically the print and play version of the GM screen. You'll slide those into the pockets on the outside for the players and on the inside for you, and you can make your own reference tables. That's a pretty cool product. We've had it now for years, and it's recyclable. You can use it between. Oh, a few tips on using that: don't put it inside the pocket when the ink is still wet. You will never scrub that out. Clint and I have gone through a few GM screens that way. That's why getting ours is so much easier.
So yeah, on the VTT front, we had a huge release recently. So if you guys didn't see it because we were yelling too much with the Kickstarter, but I'm going to throw in Sean. We had a Rifts Mega Bundle release that is absolutely fantastic. And if you guys haven't seen it yet, I saw the preview for Foundry, and the background, it's an open rift that's got the animation running, and it is cool as all get out. So, Sean, now that you're here, sir, love your shirt. So and the Murder Hobo show thinks you're a sexy bastard. So
love you, Murder Hobo. And hi to all my friends who've already, said hi, Ronnie and Mel and everybody. It's great to see everybody here. I just gotta chime in and say that I've been super duper impressed with the quality of the virtual tabletop assets. I've tried all the three major VTT platforms that we've talked about. I personally really like Foundry for ease of use and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I studied interaction design in college for software, and it's a lot of the stuff there. The team's doing a really great job making it as easy to use as possible, making it look really slick. On a very conservative, carefully used budget and number of man hours. And so I just really have to, again, give a shout out. I've heard really great things, that things are going really smoothly with the Savage Rifts support. And so we're just, I know there's a lot of Savage Rifts fans and Rifts fans that are on the team that's been working on the VTT material. And I know you guys have put a lot of love and hard work into that. So I just want to, again, express my personal appreciation for your support and helping make sure that in the middle of a crazy, crazy world, 2020, then there's 2021, now there's 2022, and we're all still able to get together and game together through virtual tabletops and the magic of the internet. So that's awesome. But yeah, is there anything else that you wanted me to talk about?
Well, so I mean, tell us, I'm wearing my Savage Cruise 2020 shirt, and we don't have our next expedition announced yet, but you do have something on the Palladium side if folks want to meet and greet the sexy bastard himself. You guys have a big open house. Tell us about the open house.
That's right. So the Palladium open house is coming up. Funny thing, this is going to be my first Palladium open house as well. I'm a Southerner, and so until I joined Palladium, I've always lived down in Texas or when I was in the military off on the coast. But yeah, this is it's been delayed because of different things. Obviously, the different years that we just talked about. But it's April 22nd to 24th. We're going to have the whole Palladium crew there. Me, Kevin. Wayne Smith, Al, all the guys that you see and you've seen for years in books will be there. We can sign your books, chat with you. There's going to be a lot of gaming, a lot of great authors, as well as great artists. Ramon Perez, who started, with a lot of Palladium stuff for really iconic stuff for Rifts, as well as Palladium Fantasy and other games that he's really well known for, but has also moved on to do a lot of comic books like the Hulk and different stuff like that. Has a really great studio up in Canada, and as well as we have John Zalesnik's going to be there. Great artist. I'm excited. I studied art for a long time. I'm not real great at art personally, more of a writer and layout guy, but he's going to be there as well. So there's going to be a lot of really cool people there, and it'll be a great time to hang out and play some games and have some fun, and see where the magic happens. And so, yeah, and hopefully I know that not everybody can make it, and things are not easy right now. So we're going to have more stuff in the future as well. But if you can, or if you know somebody that would enjoy it, please let them know, and that can help support the hobby, and all the magic that happens over at Palladium Books. So and if you guys have any questions, feel free to check out the Palladium Books website. Right when you go on the front page, there's a cool animation of a glitter boy. Right below that, there's a link. You can go to the open house page and look at all the details and stuff. There's a lot of details there because we try and make sure it's real easy. If you have any questions, it can all be right there for you.
Link in our news with that too. So if you go to the PEG site, if you don't, Palladium site, or if you're a PEG fan, go to the PEG news, and there's a picture there of the open house. But since we got you on the PEG channel right now, and it's not going to be one of the next two crowdfunders, but right. I think we've been cleared to give the title and perhaps a little bit of whatever you'd like to share of the next Rifts project that is going to be like Rifts for Savage Worlds project.
Right,
so
Rifts for Savage Worlds, right?
Give us the
because I've got other Rift stuff too on the way. But yeah, so Rifts for Savage Worlds, I'm going to go ahead and share a little snippet behind me here of some of the art for the cover of Terror on the Dark Frontier. This isn't the full cover, but I just wanted to let you guys kind of take a look at it. And another Aaron Riley, really great stuff. But yeah, we're going to be we are working really hard on Terror on the Dark Frontier. The first alpha, I guess you'd call it, round of playtesting by our writers, including me and some other great writers, is finishing up. So we've got a lot of really cool plans for the next pawn set that's going to be coming with that. And so I think you're going to see a lot of really neat stuff. I can't make any promises, but I will say that we are hopeful that we'll be able to produce something really cool for the Spider Skull Walker that is going to be in this pawn set. So yeah, we Simon and I were actually just talking about this last night. Last night we were talking about it, trying to see some of the ways. There's a lot of different things you can do with the pawns, but because they're laser die cut and all this. But again, it's there are limits, and we want to make sure whatever we do looks really good. So, but if it goes well, we'll have some really cool stuff for the Spider Skull Walker. But you're gonna find that this set is not only gonna have the things that you need for the Dark Frontier, which is what we're calling the Oklahoma territories, the frontier that the coalition is moving into. There's gonna be a lot of New West and backfill for the pawns that we couldn't cover in the first mega pawn set, which was massive. And I know a lot of you guys have bought a couple of them. And this one is similarly is going to help fill out a lot of the stuff that we didn't have pawns and art for Savage Foes of North America, for instance, and to fill in a lot of the other foes that you're familiar with from the initial 3 world books that we came out with: Empires of Humanity, Arcana and Mysticism, and Blood and Banes. So I think it's going to be a really fun set. We're looking at doing some really cool stuff around. We're looking at doing wanted posters for different villains and stuff and enemies that are wandering through the Dark Frontier. Yeah, we're pretty stoked about it. I know I've talked to Shane and Kevin, and it's a lot like Hell on the High Plains. We saw what they were doing with that, and we thought, it'd be really neat if we could do a big adventure set for Savage Rifts, and just for Rifts, right? So we've designed this the way that I'm sure a lot of you, or most of you, are, Savage Worlds fans. We do have some Palladium fans that have started gaming, and Savage Worlds adventure material is so easy to get into and so easy to use. And so even Kevin is excited about what this will mean for all kinds of Rifts fans. So it's got a plot point campaign, but we also have a lot of details about the region, and there's going to be a map for the region. So if the players say, "Oh, I really want to go to this spot, that looks cool, I want to go explore this old ghost mine, or this other thing, this haunted bluffs or something, you can go and do that, and we've got adventure prompts in there to help the game master flesh that out, as well as encounter tables and stuff like that. So the other thing that's going to be really cool about it is we're diving into kind of a dark new west, which is kind of remind people of maybe Deadlands, right? So one of the things that we are excited about too is if you like the new west and you like that kind of adventuring, this is a perfect time for you to bust out your Deadlands pawns and your Deadlands maps and mix it in on the action. So we're really stoked about that. I'm really excited about the art and the adventures, and we're bringing in some of the things that maybe people were like, oh gee, how did that hit the cutting room floor, like the Black Fairies, an iconic Rifts monster that people may have said, oh, where is that? I didn't see that in Savage Rifts yet. So we're doing our best to make sure that we hit a lot of the high points. And if you're an old school Rifts fan, a lot of the really cool stuff that you would see out of New West, Spirit West, and stuff like that. We're diving into the lore of the Comanche Preserve, and talking and you get to live through and that story of what happens when the Comanche Preserve runs into the Coalition on the frontier. They're both claiming the same territory, and the Tomorrow Legion gets involved. You may or may not see Aaron Tarn and Sir Coat, but there's a few different things that are going to be happening there that we think that fans are going to be really excited about.
Those are some fan favorite characters you just dropped right there.
Yeah. So we've got some pretty cool stuff, and I don't know how you can do that part of the world without letting those characters join in on the fun and letting the players meet them and interact with them. So we're really excited about that story. And if anybody's got any questions, of course, I'm happy to answer. But yeah, that's the main plan right now for Terror.
Awesome. So the one I'll get to in a second, Don. So one little update: we aren't announcing when Terror is hitting our crowdfunding platforms. We do want to wait until you guys have Atlantis in your hands. And so Atlantis will not be on the first boat that we're having out. The first boat has got Pathfinder and the Flash Gordon and the Suede reprint. So that'll be first coming out of our distributor, Studio 2. And then the second boat that we charter will be should have Atlantis on it. And so once we get those to you guys, I think we're a little more comfortable announcing when that'll come to Kickstarter. There is a question, and this is for Jody. Daniel Atson asks, will we be able to change our level? So currently, for this Kickstarter campaign, which is under 20 minutes left. We're almost at 175,000. Can we get to 1888 backers? That'd be amazing. But I'm going to bring on Jody to describe what you can do on the Game Changer platform with your pledge.
Yeah, and if we don't hit 1888, that's fine. We are super thrilled with what we've got. I was just like, hey, Deadlands 1888. Wouldn't that would be cool? Right? That would be so cool. So, Daniel, to answer your question, the answer is yes. Yes. You will be able to upgrade your reward level. And we're not going to be using pledgemanager.com next. We'll be staying with our website, peginc.com. So I recommend, if you do not have an account on our website that matches your Kickstarter address, please do so. That just makes everything go easier for you. If you want to keep those separate, that's fine. You'll just have to email our customer service after you get your coupon. So yeah, using our own site has opened up everything that we have in the website for you to order. So if you want an old copy of one of our Savage Worlds settings, like Slipstream, that came out before Flash Gordon, and we certainly pulled a lot of, we were certainly inspired by Flash Gordon when it was written. There's still hard copies of that in stock. You can add that to your order, and that's on our website. That's something we wouldn't normally put on the Pledge Manager, simply because not many people would be asking for it. We have more than 1,000 products in our website at this point, and we just can't put them all in Pledge Manager. So by using our website, you get your reward level there. You can upgrade there. You can add on that card box. You can add on the Devil's Tower dice. You can add on the pawns. You can add on 3 sets of pawns for all of your friends, more maps, whatever it is that you're going to do. and pick up anything else that you missed out on in the store. So that's why we love our new platform. And yes, we've had some technical difficulties because it's new tech. And thank you so much for rolling with the punches with us. Anytime you do something new, it's going to be a little bit harder. And hey, it really is a game changer. I mean, that was, I'm going to give Clint the shout out on this. He's the one who came up with the name for that. So yes, honey, you had a great idea. Shut up. So that's a great name for what we're doing. And so now we can not only use it to handle the pledges from this campaign, but we'll also use it for our own crowdfunding, like the Fantasy Companion. So, and yeah, you can still pledge, you can still do some of the stuff for, Holler. We've got that in pre-order now on our website. There you go. Thank you, Don. And it all ships at the same time. So it's just easier for the order management system to do it all at once. So it's not like if you're backer number one, you're going to get it any faster. We greatly appreciate you, backer number one. You get all of the clout that you want, but you don't get shipped any faster than anybody else. Sorry. It's all about what orders are going where and how fast they can be packed. So we let the warehouse figure that stuff out.
And then for the commenter who isn't in on Holler yet, you can back. It is on our site. We don't have the pledge levels anymore, so it's pretty much a la carte. So you can pick and choose which items there you want to get.
And the Superpowers Companion. That was our first thing that we did on the Game Changer platform on our website. So that's available too. So you can still do that. So that we've now used our site for two things. We've worked out some of the bugs. Fingers crossed this next one just goes flawlessly. And of course, if you have any issues, just email our customer service. We have an excellent team, info@peginc.com. Just tell us what your problem is and we'll get back to you. They're manning that, those emails Monday through Friday. So if it's on a weekend, somebody's probably going to take a look at it, but please let us have the weekends to play games. That's all I'm going to ask.
Awesome. So since now that I can take Jody off the screen, I have a spoiler, and there's a really cool giveaway. So question is, any games at GaryCon? And so GaryCon is going Ethereal GaryCon this year. Shane will be making an appearance on one of the panels, so look out for him there. And here's an offer that we're offering to all the GaryCon folks, but since you're PEG folks, we don't want you to miss out either. So because it's like from here, the next two crowdfunders are super fantasy focused, and Savage Worlds does fantasy well, guys. But to prove it, we had a little adventure that we had made up earlier. Didn't get the attention I think it deserved. So if you're at GaryCon, you'll get this in your virtual swag bag. But for viewers here, I'm going to flash this up on the screen real quick. There's a code on here to get a free copy of a fantasy adventure PDF on our website. So let me pop it up here. So yes, if you do free SW Fantasy, that's the code. So you can just go to your cart next time you order something or right now and enter that code. It should put The Greatest Treasure, which is a fantasy adventure, in your cart for free. You can check out. And but that is the free giveaway for GaryCon. So thanks for asking, Joan of Arc Destroyer. And but so PEG folks can get in on that too. So that's all I have to say about that. Is you can go to peginc.com, click on the shopping cart, and enter your code or coupons, and that coupon code free SW Fantasy will get you a free copy of a fantasy adventure to run for to get in the spirit of the Fantasy Companion that's coming up, which will be our next crowdfunder on peginc.com, and then the next Kickstarter following that, which will be more Savage Pathfinder goodness. So to get you in the Savage Worlds fantasy mood, we're going to give that away for free with the code. So that's a little spoiler, a little fun. So let's see, I think Don, speaking of fantasy and speaking of things, you are spearheading a really cool project. We're not going to give you a date yet, but I think Don does have some previews we were going to do. So take it away, Mr. Chippus. So
yeah, so I did not write this. Daryl Hayhurst was the writer of this thing that we're about to talk about. I'm being a mini Simon of figuring out what are we going to do with pawns and art and all those things, right? Because we realized that we need about 4 more Simons, and I think we would we'd have enough people for everything he does. but I am not logged into StreamYard. That's I think why I dropped out earlier, because I accidentally hit that. Landauer, do you want to throw up that piece of art? And I want to give folks a quick chance. Can anybody guess as to what this might be for? And this might I think this might be a little bit of an unfair challenge, but
It's creepy. It's got that, Eastern flavor to it. Let's see.
it is an unfair challenge because I don't think it's possible for anybody. Oh, I think that's as close as we're gonna get with ETU Circuit saying Wuxia. Not the martial arts companion. This is I think Wuxia is the closest you could possibly get to it, because this is for our Wuxia setting that we're working on, Legend of Ghost Mountain.
And
so that is one of the undead bannermen. By
the way, it's Wuxia. Wuxia.
Listen.
Thank you, Sean.
We already had to defend
ourselves
Mandarin,
during right? Yeah.
I was trying to remember if it was Mandarin or Cantonese to make my joke.
Mandarin, yeah.
It's just whenever I need to say any of the terms from the book, I'll just make the mouth and you say it, Sean. It'll work great.
Shaw, yeah.
But yeah, Shane was talking about it on Facebook. I don't remember how long ago. I don't think I actually personally saw the post, but so it's in the stage of where we're working on getting more art for it and doing the. I think that might be cheating for John to say.
It is. That's why I didn't put the comment up right away. He knows things. He's already working on the VTT for it.
Yeah, so we're in the art and layout stage and kind of figuring out what is it going to look like. Don't know when. That's the schedule is mutable right up until we go to it, but it is in the works. And it is Daryl wrote a fantastic adventure. It's a lot of fun. I'll give a little spoiler for it. You're going to be using mass battles a lot, and there's some pretty cool battles.
That's super exciting. But I mean, again, I think with all of our releases, because we have so many for you guys. I mean, this last year was, I think, the biggest year we've had as far as speed of release or close to it. And we are in no way slowing down, even though the global shipping crisis is trying to slow us down. The giving you guys the mechanical options to improve all of your Savage Worlds games. So I mean, the chase decks are kind of a new fantastic thing that you guys have really responded well to. And we don't even have the physical ones in our hands yet, but you guys are starting playing them on the VTTs and with the PDF you guys have gotten. And then the pawns. I mean, pawns are super exciting because they match all the archetypes we give you and the monsters, and you don't have to paint minis. We love minis. One of the comments this week on the Facebook was, where are you guys getting your Deadlands minis? We have a whole series of metal miniatures that Reaper did for us. They're wonderful. But we also have the flat plastic miniatures. Did a whole great series of licensed flat plastic minis. Those are great for traveling and for convention games. But now we got the pawns too. So I mean, you guys, it's your choice. It is a bonanza of ways to bring this to your actual table. So so I'm going to take this one. Let's see. Too fast. There we go. So news on Dark Ages. We do not have news on Dark Ages. That one's important to us. That is a big project, an important project. The Morgana effect is a major part of all of our lines, most of our lines. It hasn't seeped into Pathfinder yet, but other than the licensed ones, we want to make sure we get that one right, and that's a biggie. So we don't have any word on that one. It won't be one of the next two, but it is certainly not going anywhere. You're not off the schedule. We just haven't put it on the schedule yet. So we know you're hungry for it, but that's one that you're just going to have to wait for. And
not on the crowdfunding schedule.
Right? Yes, not on the crowdfunding. It's still in development. Everything. I mean, there is so much in development. Like Donald said, we need more Simons just to keep all the stuff in track. But let's see. We are down to 7 minutes left. So
how many backers do we have?
Good check. Let's see. I think we are dangerously close to 175,000, and we've got, what was that number, Jody?
1854.
Okay, good year. Could
be better. Landauer, you want to pop yourself back on screen?
Oh. No one wants to look at me. I don't have
Yes,
the puppy
we do.
here. So
I have 1855, Jody. I
Oh,
don't
do
know.
you? Yay!
You're discounting those two backers.
I don't have it yet. That's all. It's slower here in North Carolina. We talk slower too, so our Kickstarter runs slower.
Yeah, so Civil Savage, who won Double the Martial Arts Companion, again, not on the schedule yet, but in active development. But the next companion will be our next crowdfunder, starting soon on our own website. But Civil Savage was nice enough to last time he said that the camera loves me. So I'll take the buttering up, sir. I'll take it any day. I know it's not true, but hey, whatever. That's why I like RPGs. I know it's not true, but I'll still spend hours and hours into it. John, too, you missed Hannibal. He was here at the beginning of the stream. So when we're done, catch up at the beginning. He's huge. And he beats me up now, and he tried to eat my phone last night. So that is the update on that. Guys, so yeah, about 6 minutes. Get those pledges in. It is almost done for the Kickstarter. This is an amazing Kickstarter. I mean, we were not expecting, the train to take off like a bullet train like it did, but you guys, shove the course to see a little nice little beard. There we go. Thanks, Colin. It took off like a rocket. It was like a rocket train, even though, I mean, that's Deadlands, right? You can have rocket trains in Deadlands. But we were so happy that you guys have responded so well to the art we've shown. The writing team has been pretty amazing. I think that's one of the last, got like 5 more minutes. Let's toss it to Brian and talk about, again, not on the schedule, not yet, in development. We got multiple people working on multiple lines. But if we've done all the states we've done, so what is it? Nebraska, Colorado, the Dakotas, Wyoming, etc. for this campaign, and that's a really good part. And we've got Cirquet in the chat. So she is one of the others. That is Sarah Martinez, one of our authors. So if you have any questions for her, she's in the chat.
And she lost her voice at a convention this past week.
Right, she was too busy running, which sounded like a really, really fun game that she put together. She worked way too hard on, but it sounds like it came out great. So she's a consummate GM as well as a writer. But so we won't have her tell her what she's working on next. But Brian has got a little hint on what part of the country will be the next similar to Hell on the High Plains. So let's bring you out, Brian.
Yes. If you like this, Hell on the High Plains, we're going to begin working now on the next one in I guess you could call it a series. It's called The Abominable Northwest, and it will take place.
Squatch
is going to be in there, of course, and it's going to take place in sort of my part of the country, right up here in the glorious Pacific Northwest. Not so glorious right now. It's been kind of rainy, but I guess that's par for the course this time of year. It's going to cover Washington, Idaho, Oregon, and the northern half of California. Yep, including this location.
So yeah, shout out to Garrett, who isn't on the stream tonight. So I think the next time we have Garrett on stream, we will have to vote, because the deal we made to you at the beginning was if we went past 100,000, we would have to vote on the sobriquet for Garrett, but he's not here, so we can't vote now. But yes, we added 100,000 to the first day total. You guys are amazing. But yeah, that's super exciting. So yeah, if you guys haven't backed Holler, there's a sheep squatch in Holler. So if you we've already demoed 2 strawmen, scarecrows, 2 different ones that are in this book. So give us the flavor. What kind of squatch do you think is going to be in your book, sir?
Well, I know that we want to focus even more on cryptids in this particular book. I have a feeling that Sasquatch, Bigfoot, whatever you want to call it, is going to factor much more heavily than it might in other parts of the country. So, and perhaps even different varieties.
Ooh, what is the plural of squatch? Is it squatches? Is it Sasquatch?
Squeech.
Squeech.
I mean, how do we not know this? I mean, we have fights over whether it's bestiary or bestiary, but I mean, what is the plural of squatch?
Squeeches.
I think it's just still Sasquatch.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Buffalo.
Maybe I'll stumble upon it in my research.
Oh, there we go.
What's a group called? Is
Saskatchewan.
it a murder of Sasquatch?
an odor of Sasquatches.
Yeah. I
Yes.
also wanted to point out Murder Hobo asked a question back in the chat a little while ago. I am going to be running a Savage Worlds game at Game Storm, which is just across the river from me, really, in Portland. That's this coming March. It's not Last Parsec. I decided to do a Thundor the Barbarian game. Looking forward to that. Mm-hmm.
Awesome. So what time of year is that going to be again?
That is late March. I don't remember the exact date off the top of my head.
Perfect. So that will be in the PEG news. We are in the final seconds. So folks, if you have not backed, final seconds. Any last questions for our guys? Because this has been an amazing campaign, but we're all kind of tired. It has been amazing. I'm going to pop this one last time in the chat. If you haven't gotten your pledge in, please pledge now. And,
you only have seconds left.
Do it. I hope you already done it. Are we going to break? 26 seconds, 25 seconds. Oh, are we going to break 175? Are we going to do it?
It's like the ball dropping on New Year's Eve every single time because you're watching it count down and you're just like, oh, and it's not like we have any set goal at this point that we need to achieve because y'all have just blown it out of the water. So thank you. Thank you.
Oh yeah, you guys rock.
Yeah.
So let's get everybody up on screen.
Yay.
I think we're done. Are we done? Is it finally done?
It's confetti.
I wish I had an animation for all that. But guys, thank you so much. This has been a pretty amazing campaign as far as you guys are concerned. The backers, the comments have all been pretty fantastic. I know a lot of people have been noticing like negativity on the internet, and we're not seeing nearly as much of that as other folks are. So thank you for being positive. Sarah, one of our authors on this, is also helping do customer service. So be nice. You guys have definitely shown that you're the best audience, the best crowd, the best fans, the best tribe in the business. Coming out so big for this Kickstarter. I mean, we did not expect it to take off like it did. We're so happy that you're enjoying the material. Looks like Brian's job is secure for writing for this for the future because you guys like it. We will give you more of it. So
I need more Deadlands. That's for sure. I got to keep my Deadlands game going. So
right?
I need more. All of it. Yes.
So yes,
Big West.
It is fantastic. 1857 apparently is the number, and so I'm gonna go find out what happened in 1857 to add to your games. But the pledge number is fantastic. We couldn't be happier with it. So one more time for all the folks, we're not going to go much longer, but everybody remind us what your next project coming out is for all the folks who are just joining us. Brian, you first because yours is next.
Well, the next one is Fantasy Companion, which is in its final stages of sort of just the editing, and then it's already in layout as well, but it's still sort of rolling in those last stages.
Mm-hmm. Fantastic. Then Mike.
We've got Curse of the Crimson Throne and the Advanced Player's Guide to keep that fantasy train rolling. Bust open your armories and take out some big baddies.
Awesome. And then I'll do a little shipping update. So we are waiting just to hear the words from our shipping partners that let's see, what will it be? It will be Pathfinder and Flash, and the new reprint of Suede is on the water. And once we hear those words, we will tell you those words. And then once we get those words, then it's we're getting another boat for the Rifts campaign, the Atlantis campaign, because that is rapidly approaching being complete and printed. And we should have, when those get shipped to us, we should have some awesome displays for those. But then that's to you, Mr. Roberson. What is the next Rifts project that's coming down the pipe?
And so the next Rifts project is Terror on the Dark Frontier. If you guys enjoy Hell on the High Plains, or even just that idea in a Rifts type setting, then I think you'll enjoy it. We're really stoked about it. I think it's gonna be a really cool project with a lot of things. Like I said earlier, you'll have Erin Tarn, Sir Winslow Thorpe, her Cyber Knight protector and companion, and so there'll be a lot of cool adventures to have.
And then last but certainly not least, Mr. Shepis, we threw up a little piece of art. I'll throw it up again one more time. Tell us, where is this from?
That's from Legends of Ghost Mountain, our upcoming
Wusha
campaign. Setting, it's a fantastic plot point campaign put together by Daryl Hayhurst, and it is quite a blast. And get ready for a bunch of mass battles.
Daryl's awesome. Yep.
Yes, and then now that you guys cannot rescind your pledges, I'm feeling a little more comfortable showing you what has been called behind the scenes the forbidden tube steak. This is the art for the rendered herd that all of you who are backers are going to enjoy with your campaign, and you will know why we recommend maybe using like a dice bag or a velvet dice bag turned inside out for it, because this will not fit on a sheet of pawns. But it is horrific, and you are now the owners of a brand new one of these, the rendered herd. Ooh. Notice there's a stick of dynamite in the air, like waiting. So maybe.
I think they're going to need more dynamite. That's all I'm saying.
I agree. That thing is terrifying. Really, like I'm not even sure which of our. I think it was Dimitar is the one who came up with that art. We hinted about it in the first stream. Now you know why I didn't use it in any of the advertising, because you can't take back your pledges now, folks.
I'm glad we both had convergent thought on that, because I multiple times looked at that piece of art and was like, it's cool, but I don't think I want to put that on the campaign page.
I don't know what it's about.
It's a little shocking.
Told me. If I didn't
Burn
say
it.
that, I'd like pledge right away.
But I do want to say, on the upside, this book is more than 192 pages long. It's actually going to be 208 pages. So
I
even
feel like
more
we're all
for your
fighting
value.
page length now to see who can put out the most content per book.
I just love the look on Simon's face after he asked, "Hey, can you guys trim this down any?" And then the response is like, "No."
It's just too much good stuff. I tried, but I was just like, I can't, man. It's just too good.
Well, with that, guys, it's been an hour. We're not going to keep you any later. There's other things going on in the world that you can get to. Thank you so much, again, for supporting this campaign. It has been a blast, and it's been an easy one for us. I think we're really catching some stride here, even though, the global forces are against us. But yes, so the next thing you'll hear from us, hopefully, is a shipping update. And then after that, hopefully we'll get you onto maybe some dates on when we're going to be launching our crowdfunder. And then Shane is also hard at work on the Fantasy Companion, doing the last little bits of his masterful edit. So Mr. Hensley is hard at work. And then once he's done, we're ready to pull the trigger and put it on our Game Changer platform. And so thank you guys. We will be in touch. But until then, again, give us at least 2 or 3 weeks before the Kickstarter does all the payments and figures out whose actual pledges and not. And so maybe you do guys have some time to cancel if you don't like the. Never mind. You didn't hear that. Forget about it.
No. Marshall, you have to remember that the first thing you ask your players is, what is your character's worst nightmare? That's part of Deadlands.
I mean, like, I think that image is giving me like gallbladder pains right now. Like, I might have to go to the hospital after looking at like what that thing actually is. Jeez.
I may or may not remember that for you, Landauer.
Right? If you don't see me again, it'll be blame the rendered herd. That'll be my excuse from now on. But
Oh, we need to see the puppy.
Oh, he's out of the room. He decided he wanted to go attack my dad, and so yeah. So yeah.
I don't have any felines within arm's length.
I know. No more puppy or kitty tags. Donald's felines are great. Scott Woodard just got a kitten too that's super cute. So if you're a friend of Scott, ask him to see his new kitten. Other than that, we're going to sign off, guys, because you guys have been amazing. I don't know why everyone still stays and watches after we're done giving away all the secrets. But it ain't this. There's no filter on this, though. It's fat keeps the wrinkles at bay. It's really good. Like, I recommend it. Anyways, thanks again, guys. This campaign's been amazing. We will see more of all the people on screen very soon, because they are all hard at work right now, bringing you the next best thing. And we hope that the world becomes a little kinder and allows us to give you these things on a faster timeline. So we will see you later, guys. Cheers. And then I will play out the wonderful, because this is our theme for this year. Please, if you're going to share that you're pledging or share your game tables like we do every Monday, we play Savage Worlds is our hashtag. And so with that, we'll do a little Deadlands, and we play Savage Worlds. So cheers, everybody.
Thank you.
We play Savage Worlds, whether we're at the table or over the internet. In our role-playing game, fantasy is just the beginning. From the Wild West to the depths of outer space and beyond. Anytime, any place. They're all Savage Worlds.
Welcome to the Weird West. Will you survive the frightening frontier or fill a grave on Boot Hill? Grab your 6 guns and enter the Deadlands.